McIntyre has unleashed a brutal attack on CM Punk, viciously assaulting the straight edge superstar with multiple claymores as Raw emanated out of Denver, Colorado, hot off the heels of a fantastic international event in Berlin, Germany, and Drew McIntyre was not going to let CM Punk get away with it, but let's get right into that in a second. But what's going on, guys? It is Ketch. If you don't know me, I make weekly wrestling content videos here on YouTube, so if you could, please do like, share, and subscribe, as it really helps the channel grow. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year or as soon as possible, so any help would be much appreciated. But let's get straight into it. So as I already mentioned, Raw did emanate out of Denver, Colorado overnight, and CM Punk was in the ring cutting a promo on his strap match victory over Drew McIntyre at Bash in Berlin over the weekend, and he was deciding to move on from Drew McIntyre. He'd come back to WWE and had been injured for some time because of Drew McIntyre's actions at the 2024 Royal Rumble earlier this year in January, and as a result, McIntyre had gone on a personal attack about Punk over the remaining few months, and they'd both gotten in each other's ways since, with Punk costing McIntyre the World Heavyweight Championship on multiple times. He even costed him at WrestleMania 40 by allowing Damian Priest to cash in after Punk had already attacked Drew McIntyre, and McIntyre had returned served on multiple occasions, most notably in Punk's hometown of Chicago, Illinois, with a brutal attack there that saw Punk put on the shelf for multiple weeks until Punk finally returned to have a match against McIntyre at SummerSlam. Now, Punk obviously lost that match at SummerSlam, but it was sort of due to the fact that Seth Rollins was acting as the special guest referee. But here in Berlin, McIntyre in a strap match against Punk, and Punk came out victorious, tying the ledger up against McIntyre at 1-1. And Punk had decided he'd had enough of McIntyre and was deciding to go after World Heavyweight Championship gold, and in particular the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, who was also fresh off his own title defense against Randy Orton in Germany, his hometown. Well, his actually adopted hometown, and Punk had decided to go and challenge him, but his attack, a brutal attack, as I mentioned earlier at the start of this video. Not even WWE officials, Wade Barrett himself included, could get McIntyre to stop, and we thought that it was the end of it with McIntyre and Punk, at least with McIntyre attacking Punk, I should say, until Punk was being wheeled out in a stretcher, getting wheeled to an ambulance. And McIntyre decided to take it a little bit further and attack him again, and really hammering home the point of how brutal and vicious this attack actually was. Now, obviously, McIntyre's attack on CM Punk got the internet wrestling community and the larger wrestling community as a whole talking about where the potential direction for CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre is going. As I've already mentioned, the ledger is currently tied at 1-1 between matches between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, so naturally there probably will be a final third match, which will probably happen at Bad Blood, which is the next WWE pay-per-view. And personally, given where this feud has come from and where it's likely to continue to go, I would expect CM Punk to retaliate within the next few weeks. Probably not next week, as he'll probably be selling the after effects of McIntyre's attack, but I feel like the next time McIntyre has his back turned, Punk will attack. And given how Adam Pearce is getting real sick and tired of McIntyre and Punk attacking each other, this will probably end up in a match that features inside Hell in a Cell. Now, for those of you who don't know, Hell in a Cell is one of the most brutal enclosures in the WWE, and you know, for a period of time the WWE had decided to gimmick it a little bit by having red Hell in a Cells and blue Hell in a Cells, but since Triple H has taken over, the classic look of the Hell in a Cell has returned, that sort of silvery grey looking structure, and I think this is the only way for the feud to actually finish between Punk and McIntyre. And they can do all manner of things to each other inside the Hell in a Cell. They can be as brutal as they want, which is currently where the feud is going, so I expect there will be also some blood that will be shed in this match, and it's pretty accurate and aptly named that the pay-per-view is taking place at, or should take place at, is I'm entirely sure where the direction is going for the other matches on Raw as of yet, but given McIntyre and Punk's personal feud and personal history with each other, this feud goes way back, and the fact that Punk and McIntyre themselves don't really like each other as far as what's shown on TV, then you can just tell this match is going to be an absolute banger as far as I'm concerned. So it'll be really interesting to see how it happens and where the feud goes. There still is a couple of weeks before the Bad Blood pay-per-view, so there still will be more time to set up the story or finish the story as the way it looks like it's currently going. But I personally can't wait for it. So, you know, it hasn't been announced. Nothing's been announced as of yet. It's not official, but I can't wait for it because McIntyre and Punk are fantastic workers and they really know how to tell really good stories, which is one area of Drew McIntyre's that's really improved in, say, the last 5 years or so. And Punk's always been good with his promo abilities, and his wrestling abilities are second to none, even at an age he is now in his mid-40s. So, you know, it'll be a fantastic match, I'm sure of that. Now, many within the wrestling community on social media have been clamoring for the long-awaited return of AJ Lee, the wife of CM Punk, who has been mentioned multiple times by CM Punk since his return to WWE in November. And now, while AJ Lee, I'm sure, would be a fantastic return and addition to the roster of WWE, she has been out of the game for some time, last wrestling, at least for WWE, in 2015. So she's been 9 years out of the game, and from what CM Punk has said in interviews and on WWE television itself, she's quite happy with where she is, staying retired at the moment. But I think given where this feud has been going and given how personal it is, and the fact that McIntyre himself has mentioned AJ and CM Punk's dog Larry multiple times on TV, they've also been feuding over that bracelet that CM Punk has been wearing all the time, or most of the time since he's come back. I think, you know, having AJ Lee return would be a sensational return for her and a massive pop for the fans, but I just don't see it happening. As much as I would like to see it happening, I just don't see it happening. But, you know, it's a potential possibility. I'm sure Punk, Triple H, and AJ are all having some form of discussion about it, whether it happens or not. But I think, you know, it's up to AJ and it's her decision. And Punk has said himself that it's up to her, it's her decision as well. So, you know, we can't force her and do something that she doesn't necessarily want to do. But, you know, it'd be great if she did come back, and I'm sure the WWE fans would love to see her back. But that has been the end of this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. What do you think is the next direction for the Punk McIntyre feud? Hell in a Cell and Bad Blood potentially? I don't know, but we'll see shortly, I suppose. But yes, please do leave your comments in the comments section down below, and leave a like and a subscribe, as it always helps the video grow. But I will leave it to it, guys. Have a good one. See ya. Bye.